but everybody else is winning. Is that how they're winning?
You know, nobody thought they were going to win because when Adam Wainwright went down, they thought this is over with. Albert Pujols got off to the slow start. How did it happen? Well, it's the system of Tony La Russa. But to me, once again, it's pitching coach Dave Duncan to the rescue. What he has done with Kyle Loesch, with Kyle McClellan, and with Jaime Garcia has just been remarkable. You look at the numbers there, you look at all of the victories, and how does he do that? Well, talking with Tony La Russa, he said, what makes Duncan so good? And he is complete in all three phases of the game. He's got the books to help you break down the opponent. He's got the mechanics if you need to tweak your delivery again. But more importantly, he builds up their confidence. And they needed that confidence coming into this season with all of a sudden all these injuries.
I love how pitchers always slant it towards the pitching, but it's about the pitching. But you got to have the offense to support it. And that offense didn't come from Albert Pujols early. It came from Lance Berkman. Berkman's been absolutely awesome this year. 367 with 10 and 32. Pujols struggled early. Matt Holliday had the appendectomy, and this guy steps up from both sides of the plate, and he's been getting done. Look how nice and shape he is this year. He has resurrected his career in St. Louis.
Can't change gears yet.
Nomar Garciaparra joins us from the side of this Wednesday night baseball game. He's in Chicago. They've been dealing with some lightning during the day. Hopefully everything goes for the game. Speaking of lightning, there has not been a lot of lightning involved for this Cardinal team, and in spite of the fact Pujols isn't hitting and Carpenter really hasn't won very many games, they're in first place. How are they doing that?
Well, you look at the middle of their lineup with Berkman, and you got Holliday over there. I mean, they're leading the league in batting average, so they're coming up huge for them. I think when you have a name like Albert Pujols and you put those three guys together, even though Albert Pujols hasn't been hitting, somebody who's getting often overlooked is Colby Rasmus. He's really been coming up huge for the St. Louis Cardinals. So they're really putting up some runs that way offensively just from those three guys alone. And from the pitching standpoint, you know, Carpenter may only have just one win under his belt, but the other guys in that starting rotation has really picked up the slack, even with Adam Wainwright out of the rotation.
You played for the Cubs, you played for the Red Sox, you know about the AL East. Matt Garza goes from Tampa to Chicago, and he was a big acquisition. He hasn't delivered. What's wrong?
Well, right now, I mean, at times he shows really dominant stuff. I mean, he's second in the major leagues in strikeouts right now. But there are times when he has some issues with his commands. He's giving up, he's averaging a hit an inning against him, and that tells you his command has just been a little bit off. And when guys are in scoring position, he has a tendency to lose a little bit of that concentration and give up that hit. It's just a matter of time of getting refocused and get back to that strikeout stuff he is showing the rest of the way.
I can't see your hands, Nomer, but I know there are at least 3 guys here with their fingers crossed about this game tonight. Let's get it in.
Right. I'm keeping my fingers crossed for sure.
And right now there are a lot of Cardinal fans keeping their fingers crossed, Rick and Barry, that the hug that was felt around the National League Central was nothing more than just a hug. We'll talk about what this is. GM Jim Henry of the Cubs and Albert Pujols. Is it much ado about nothing on Baseball Tonight at the top of the hour, guys?
This one tonight, Thunder Grizz, great series so far, tied at 2 after the Thunder took that triple overtime thriller in Game 4. Kevin Durant, Russell Westbrook combined for 75 points in that win, but a lot has been made of how they coexist in the offense, including from the very opinionated Charles Barkley, who thinks it's terrible.
But as great, terrific a player as Westbrook is, man, that's going to be an issue. Probably the best offensive player on the planet went 9 minutes without getting a shot. Without getting a shot. If I'm Charles Barkley or I'm Kevin Durant and I'm Michael Jordan or somebody of that mold, I would say, and you can ask any of my teammates, I would say this, listen, if any one of you guys shoot this ball without it touching my hand, I'm going to beat the hell out of you in the locker room after the game.
I believe him, too. He would throw him against a glass plate and window, too. During the regular season, Durant was getting nearly 3 more shots a game than Westbrook. Since postseason started, Durant has increased his shooting by just a single shot, while Westbrook has upped his attempts on more than 5.
First 5 minutes.
Enjoy
standing.
Tim Lake, our NBA analyst, to help us break
Powering.
this down even further. A lot has been
Gonna
made about
die.
the relationship in the playoffs between Durant and Westbrook. They don't
But
seem to have a problem.
time to sit back down.
Brooks doesn't
This
seem
is
to have a
great.
problem with it. They're winning ball
I
games.
love this machine. I read it.
Well, that's what the media does.
Just what I wanted.
I'm a media member now, but I don't have a
All
problem
right.
either, and I know there is no rift. But that's just a sexier story to talk about. Ooh, problem between the 2 stars in the playoffs. There's no issue. These 2 guys are friends. They like playing together. They've got tremendous chemistry. Having said all of that, just from a basketball standpoint, I think it's something that Scott Brooks and Kevin Durant need to rein in a little bit. I think Russell Westbrook is a phenomenal talent. He can get shots whenever he wants because of his athletic and explosive ability, and he's got a mismatch every time up the court. Kevin Durant needs to touch the basketball more often in critical times in the game. It's 2-2 right now.